welcome back. All right, so another news of the day video for all you fine people on the internet. Still Tuesday, still September 17th, depending on which part of the world you're in, of course. Could be Wednesday where you are. Don't spoil it. Don't tell me how the 18th turns out. But yeah, news video, which I was probably ready to do a while ago, but I was waiting because there's some news that could be coming out, but I give up. Maybe I'll have to do another news video before I turn in tonight. But at any rate, right now, here's where we're at. Dakota Joshua is going to miss the start of camp and likely the start of the regular season. Treatment for testicular cancer. They found a tumor. They did get it removed, but the recovery from that's going to take a while. So all the best to Joshua and his recovery. And for the Canucks, they have depth at forward. I'm not overly concerned with them being without Joshua for a little while to start the season. More concerned on the goaltending front than anything. But yeah, so Dakota Joshua is going to miss, and all it said in the statement was, he won't be there for the start of camp, so probably won't be there for the start of the regular season, at least probably not up to speed, but we'll see how many games he ends up missing. Alex Edler is signing a one-day contract to retire as a member of the Vancouver Canucks. This is a practice that people are kind of torn on about. It's just symbolic. It doesn't really mean anything. But Edler retiring as a Canuck makes a lot of sense. I've not done a video on Edler, but that's okay. I looked today and found out I haven't done a video on Brendan Morrison either. What in the world? How can I have done so many career videos over the years and never have done one on Brendan Morrison? It just feels wrong. At any rate, so Edler, they're going to have a nice night celebrating him as a Vancouver Canuck. I believe the first home game they'll be doing that. So for Vancouver, it's a nice moment. Alex Edler, one of the best defensemen the Canucks have ever had. I don't know where I'd rank him. Maybe I need to do a video on ranking defensemen in teams' histories. That could be fun. But, I mean, Quinn Hughes is going to be number one for the Canucks, I would think, right? Anyways, so yeah, Edler retiring one day as a Canuck, and then he's done. Skylar Brind'Amour. So this is a story that's developing, and word is that his AHL contract, which he signed, is going to get terminated. And speculation is that Skylar Brind'Amour, who is, I believe, the son of Rod Brind'Amour, will be signing an NHL contract. He has not played a game in the NHL. He was originally drafted, I believe, in 2017. But it's a good story if he signs with the Hurricanes. And who knows, maybe he gets into a couple of games playing for his dad this year. It's always a good story. It's always great to see that kind of thing. So maybe we see that with Skylar Brind'Amour. The Toronto Maple Leafs adding a little bit of goaltending depth via PTO. John Gillies has signed a professional tryout with the team. So trying to get a contract either with the Maple Leafs or maybe he signs a contract with the Marlies. Either way, Gillies is going to be in training camp for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Also, and I didn't mention this morning, but there's enough people talking about it right now that I'm like, go ahead and talk about it. Oreo is the helmet sponsor this year for the Toronto Maple Leafs. It does pair well with the fact that Milk is their jersey sponsor. So you have Oreos on the helmet, Milk on the front of the jersey. I don't know. Maybe you can work that into a goal celebration, right? You get some Oreos, you get some milk, and there you go. Maybe make a little bit extra cash on the side there, because we know the Toronto players racked for cash. Anyways, yeah. So let me know your thoughts on that. It's a fun thing to throw on the board, I guess. So Jeremy Swayman, and this is where Boston fans are kind of on edge right now. Word that maybe Boston will have something to announce. Well, the only thing we want Boston to announce is a Swayman extension, which at the time I'm recording this has not been announced. I haven't seen it either from a lot of the reporters that I follow. I've only seen one person reporting Boston will have something to report. And in that statement, that's all they said. They didn't say that Swayman was signed. So Swayman's not on the training camp roster. I would think if Boston was that close and he was getting signed today, he probably would have been on the training camp roster. Camp opens tomorrow. They hit the ice on Thursday. The fact that Boston doesn't have Swayman on the training camp roster tells me if Boston's going to announce something, it probably won't be a Swayman extension. But maybe, right? So let me know your thoughts. Do you think this might be pointing to a Swayman extension, or maybe something else? Maybe a couple of tryouts, right? Maybe if they don't think Swayman's going to be there, maybe they sign Lankinen, because Lankinen's name's been tied to a few teams at this point. The Columbus Blue Jackets, having signed James Van Riemsdyk, and keeping in mind that Don Waddell said they were 2 forwards short, they're looking at the trade market for some help, and there's already articles saying, hey, Toronto needs to shed some money. Why don't they make a trade with Columbus? Yep, and they're not going to be the only team that needs to shed some money. I think the Oilers is a team that might be looking to shed some money, and there will definitely be some forwards offered up, I would think, to a Columbus team that definitely has the cap space to bring somebody on. And if they pick up the right forward, it should help with a little bit of hype in Columbus. Yesterday I did get, and I promised this, I did get a Columbus Blue Jackets flag. 3 foot by 5 foot. If they make the playoffs, it goes right there, and I will root for them in the playoffs after what they've gone through. And I want to say this offseason, but it feels like every offseason for Columbus is messed up somehow. It was a year ago at this time we were talking about the whole Babcock debacle. It's not that far removed from the loss of Kid Lennox. And so, yeah, it feels like with Columbus, it's been just one news story after another that just, it's not great news for Columbus. So I want to see things turn around. Hopefully they get a good forward and they can show some upward momentum in the Metropolitan Division. There are 17 days left until the regular season starts. So while training camp hasn't started yet, it is not long after the start of training camp before we're playing games that matter. The fact that hockey players stay in much better shape in the offseason now than they did back when I was a kid is part of the reason why this 17 days between now and the start of the regular season, it's fine. I'm not worried about really bad hockey to start the season, which again, when I was a kid, that could happen. You could have some pretty rough games in October. Now, they just don't have the intensity, but the games still have the structure, and they're still pretty good games. But yeah, back when I was a kid, some of those October games, there were guys who were out of shape, and just, you could tell they were just trying to get themselves going. So 17 days from now, be the regular season. Between now and then, I'll be watching what I can of preseason games and reviewing them when I can. I did review a couple of the rookie games this past weekend, just as kind of like a test to see how they would do. And they performed pretty well. Regarding, like, looking at it comparatively speaking with, say, the historical videos I've been doing, the reviews of the rookie games did pretty well. So I'll be doing some reviews of preseason games as well, where I can. They're not all going to be on television. So, yeah, stay tuned. And I will try to watch as many different teams as I can, keeping in mind it'll probably be Canadian squads I can watch more than others. But I'll do my best to bring the information to you when I can. So excited for the start of the regular season 17 days from now. Should be a fun one. It was a pretty good summer. Hopefully it's a pretty good season as well. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Which player do you think Columbus should pick up and trade? If they were trading with Toronto, trading with some other team that needs to have some cap space. Maybe Philadelphia gives them a call even though it's a team in their own division. Maybe they could look to shed some salary. I'll just throw it there. Sean Couturier's played in Columbus before. Maybe Couturier'd be okay with the move based on last season. I'm just throwing the name out there, just as an example. And again, Columbus can afford to take on that salary and be done with it. So let me know your thoughts, though, in the comment section below. Hit like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support as always. I will talk to you again soon.